Oh, hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on which part of this beautiful country that you're in. I am Sheila Gunn Reid. I hope my screen isn't frozen because it sure looks frozen on my side. You are watching the Painfully Live show, Rebel Roundup. It's our Rebel News live daily news and opinion show. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm hosting with my beautiful best friend from Regina, Saskatchewan, Lise Merle. Lise, how's it going?
Well, hi, Sheila Gunn Reid. Good to see you again inside of 12 hours. Uh, do we ever have a great show? Because last night something momentous happened in Alberta. Just absolutely momentous. It's gonna change what's happening in Canada, and we're gonna talk all about it
Yeah,
with you guys on
yeah,
today's show.
I'm actually really enjoying the leftist meltdown that I am seeing in the mainstream media because their girl, Bonnie Critchley, despite pumping her tires nonstop, I don't know how many appearances that woman did on CBC and like the nearly uniform glowing coverage of her as like the hunter killer of Pierre Poilievre in Battle River Crowfoot because she was a local girl by way of Kelowna quite recently versus Pierre Poilievre, who grew up in this province and is now just simply coming home. It's been quite something. They can't understand why we didn't listen to them in Alberta.
Yeah,
I just enjoy it.
quite
Yeah.
shocked by the entire turn of events. And but what we know is that the corrupt mainstream media in Canada can swing a candidate to get 10% of 80. How many total votes were cast last night? Some.
I don't know. I'm going to say about 60,000, maybe.
Right.
Let's go back 40 for can you just scroll up? What do we, yeah, 50,000 total number of valid votes, 50,000.
Okay, so now we know what Bonnie Critchley can it was somebody with the backup that Bonnie Critchley had from the mainstream media, what they can command in an election run. So this is it's just all very interesting, but our condolences to Bonnie, who I'm sure had her hopes up. Bonnie's dreams were dashed last night. So back to Kelowna with you, Bonnie. Everything will be fine. And actually, I also wanted to just quickly note all of the other candidates who ran in this election. It was a real hard fight. All 213 of you. The longest ballot committee must be real proud of themselves because now Pierre Poilievre can rightfully claim, that he commanded more votes than the next 213 candidates combined. Okay, that's
Yeah.
got to be the biggest landslide victory in the history of the world. So, congratulations to Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative team. And yeah, well done, longest ballot committee.
Can we just go back and see if Elsie Kipp got even a vote?
Right.
Because she is the lady with the same name as a dead lady, RIP. I'm sure she was like, she actually looks like she had a full and lovely life.
She looks
Um,
delightful.
yeah. She
Yes.
looks like she could really roll a cabbage roll and just pinch a pierogi, like that kind of somebody's baba. Um,
Elsie.
Elsie Kipp, uh, there she is. Oh, two votes.
Okay.
Elsie doesn't live in the riding. Elsie is a real living, breathing human being, but because she shares this obscure name with somebody's Baba from Saskatchewan,
Who just passed away. Just passed
just
away like in
just
February.
right. So it was like a recent thing. So people were like, look at how bad the longest ballot committee is. They're putting dead women on the ballot. But as it turns out, she isn't dead. She just shares the same last name with somebody. And of course, she's from BC. So,
Right.
and as I said last night on the live stream, as we covered the by-election, I would rather be mistaken for the dead woman than this
Right.
election meddler.
Rather than having to fess up and doing a press tour that you're actually alive.
I'm
Like,
alive. I'm just terrible.
that's what it yeah, but if somebody ever asked her what her 15 minutes of fame was, she could be like, "Well, actually."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Uh,
yeah.
while you guys are watching, I'm going to invite you to get involved in the show if you like, because we rely on you. We don't take a penny from Mark Carney or any level of government to do the work that we do. How could we? If we were contaminated with Carney cash, how could you take us seriously at all? Um, and you know what? Sometimes in the live stream, I don't want you to take me so seriously, but how could you think that I was truly independent if I took any money from the government? everybody else in the mainstream media. So if you're watching us on Rumble, you can leave a Rumble rant. That's your way of supporting our work, but it also lets you have your say. It democratizes the show, because if it's over the $5 US cutoff, we're reading it on air. If it's under that, we'll do our very best, time permitting. But let me tell you, I want to be out of here at the dot of noon, if I can. And if you are watching us on YouTube, it's a super chat, same rules apply, but you can also leave us a paid comment. It's called a super thanks, and we are so grateful that you choose us. We know that you have less money in your pocket than ever. The government is picking it real hard, and you already are forced against your will to support the bad guys in the mainstream media. So thank you so much. Let's show this quick clip of Pierre Poilievre's closing remarks from his acceptance speech, or his victory speech, in, I believe his HQ was in Camrose, farmer retirement community, beautiful town, in Camrose in Battle River Crowfoot. Let's take a listen.
To the great people of the special areas whose ancestors were told a century ago, including Damien's great-grandparents, that they'd never be able to farm on that land. Too tough and too dry. And yet, on the homestead signs that you drive by on the highway, those old names are still there, and their great-great-grandchildren are still making those fields blossom. They never gave up, so I will never give up. To the great... Because as my mother, who's here today, taught me, when you get knocked down, you get up and you keep on going. If you believe in what you're doing, you march forward. And so I say to all of the people, not just in the great region of Battle River Crowfoot, but right across this country, to anyone who has been knocked down, but has got back up and kept on going, you haven't given up, so I won't give up. Together, we will work together. We will fight together. We will sacrifice together to restore the opportunity that our grandparents left for us, so that we can leave it for our grandchildren, so that we can once again restore a country that is strong, self-reliant, and sovereign. That is the country we're in this for. That is why we stay united. That is why we go forward. May God keep our land glorious and free. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, I'm so glad he brought up the special areas, because the special areas are this part of Alberta that should be desolate. Like it was basically, they were basically told it's worth nothing. You can't do anything with it. It's scrubland. You can't even graze cattle on it. And it is fertile and productive, because like everything in this province, with our forbidding climate, somehow they figured out how to make it work. It's irrigated and it is fertile and productive. It's ranch land. And it's true. Those same farm families are doing it. And it is what makes us different. It is absolutely what makes us different. And I'm so excited that these two, as you pointed out on the show last night, will be raising their children in the best place on the face of the earth, and that's the prairies.
That's exactly right. And there are some questions that are being being swirled in the universe. You know, are we going to see a new Pierre? Is Pierre Poilievre going to change because of this moment? Well, Pierre Poilievre is just coming out of his 40 years in the wilderness. Okay, just like in the Bible, when Moses was sent off for 40 years to spend 40 years in the wilderness, he came back a changed man. President Trump had to do it between his 2 terms. Danielle Smith had to do it after the NDP won in 2015. To even question whether Pierre Poilievre is going to be changed by this experience.
Damien.
It's I mean, we are going to see a brand new Pierre Poilievre, because when everything else falls away, you are forced to confront what is actually important to you, what you are actually going to prioritize. And this is going to be a brand new Pierre Poilievre. This was actually confirmed by a post, Sheila Gunn Reid, I must talk about this, that Anna Poilievre put out last night at some point in the
I spent
It's,
too long making a list of suspects last night, by the way, when I
yes.
should have been sleeping. So if I looked tired, that was it. I was had the
Oh,
whiteboard out.
it was extraordinarily telling. And if we
Yeah.
could pull up her post just real quick and focus on that one line, Sheila Gunn Reid. Can you see it?
Do you want to find it, Olivia?
There
There
we
it is.
go.
Okay, I'm gonna lean
Okay,
in.
we're zooming in.
So she said, no, it's okay.
There we go.
It says she's talking about politics, and she said it also has its ugly side. Friendships come, and she made this bold and italics. So this is the part that you're supposed to read in all of this. Friendships come and go as if dictated by the polls. Fickle, fickle friends of the delightful Anna Poilievre. I'm going to figure out who you are. This is what I do. She said, just like the weather, people come and go. So just remember, family is everything, and fighting for hope is still worth it. Who did her wrong?
Oh, somebody, listen, Anna Poilievre is taking names, okay? She saw what you did. She wants you to know that she knows what you did.
That's
And
a good woman right there.
This is a very, very clear message that there will be a reckoning, that there will be a reckoning. And if this happened to the family Poilievre, imagine what happened to the political Pierre Poilievre.
Right.
This entire time has changed the path of the Poilievre trajectory in Canada. And whoever hurt Anna Poilievre, okay, you better watch out. You better watch it, because we're looking out for you. Okay, we're
I
gonna find
actually
out
think
what happens.
it's her in defense of Pierre. You know, when she says family is everything. So it seems like people she considered her friend went after Poilievre, her husband, and she was like, yeah, no, family is everything.
That's what I read into it too.
Yeah.
Yep. And so this is a change in time for the Poilievre family. This is definitely a changing time for the people of Battle River Crowfoot. And congratulations to the people of Battle River Crowfoot,
for
because
sure.
they just became the arbiters of what happens next in Canada, okay?
Yeah.
Because it is their influence and their values and their beliefs that Pierre Poilievre is going to pack up in his suitcase and take all the way to Ottawa, okay? So you make sure to pack his suitcase well, people of Battle River Crowfoot. Okay, this is where we start exporting Alberta and injecting it into Ottawa.
There's nary a more Alberta place than Battle River Crowfoot. I think just because of the sheer the size of the riding, it's enormous. But just because of the industry and the people inside of it. So it's got a Hardisty as an oil field hub. It's got the special areas, so they're dealing with irrigation. As you come north, you're in canola country, it's coal country. So it is, it touches on everything.
It's a very Alberta. You couldn't get more Alberta.
For
and
sure
now
not.
that,
and Wainwright. I forgot Wainwright. CFB Wainwright's right smack dab in there.
Right. It dips into every part of what makes Alberta, Alberta. And now that's the influence that Pierre Poilievre gets to take to Ottawa. And I am so looking forward to it.
For sure. You know who's not looking forward to it? Mark Carney. He put out, because that socially awkward robot of a man, he's gonna get just axe murdered in the House of Commons, as our guest on the live stream last night, Keith Wilson, pointed out. He's probably going to avoid being in the House of Commons as much as possible, which is, I suppose, his prerogative as the Prime Minister. He'll just find other things to do with his time. But he tweeted, "Congratulations to Pierre Poilievre on returning to the House of Commons and gaining the honor of representing the people of Battle River Crowfoot in Parliament." You know, he might even have a constituency office in Battle River Crowfoot, which is more than Mark Carney can say about his own riding.
I bet the people of Battle River Crowfoot are going to see a lot more of their rep than the people of Mark Carney's riding.
We also
Nepean.
have Nepean. Yeah. Where is Mark Carney? If he's not in the House of Commons, and he won't be in Nepean, and he gets excluded. Oh my God, did you see the
He's at
picture?
Doug Ford's house. Don't be ridiculous.
He's
Sheila,
Doug
don't
Ford's,
ask.
right, he's in Muskoka with Doug Ford.
That's
He
right.
and the little spoon. Did you see that photo, by the way? Maybe you guys can dig it up. It was on my X account where it looks like someone has replaced Mark Carney at a meeting of the leaders with a house plant.
That's not inaccurate. I mean, we weren't even invited.
Yeah, true fact. President Trump replaces Mark Carney with a house plant for a photo op nobody notices.
So nice. So nice. They weren't even invited. Like, it's abjectly embarrassing for the government of Canada to have not been included in this day. And if you were to hear Doug Ford and Mark Carney tell it, I mean, nothing to see here. We had the best day. We were just busy making deals and doing things for the elbows up people of Canada, and we were just elbowing our
we
way
were
through the day.
elbows up making s'mores down at the lake in
Why didn't
Muskoka while the country burns down.
Where was our taxpayer-funded mainstream media in asking them, how do you feel about not getting invited to NATO? What does it feel like to be disinvited to a NATO conference at the White House? How does that feel? Like, why weren't they asking those questions? Instead, they asked Doug Ford open-ended questions that he could roast the Americans with and claim to be the King of Canada.
Oh, it's gross. Danielle Smith says she's thrilled to see her friend. Listen to her tone here. And then we'll go and see what Doug Ford has to say.
Yeah.
Thrilled. She's thrilled. She's over the moon. Thrilled to see my friend Pierre Poilievre headed back to Ottawa after winning over 80% of the vote. By the way, the left says that's a loss. Like, you guys don't get 80% of nothing. With all the election meddling, and only dropping three points from where Damien was at.
It's a pretty good showing.
Pretty good showing.
Yes.
Anyways, with over 80% of the vote, Canada needs your strong conservative voice in the fight for our economy, our freedom, and our future. Happy that Albertans now have you as one of their champions in Parliament.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a very strong endorsement from a very popular lady in Battle River Crowfoot.
Yes.
I see Senator Leo Housakos, who I just wish he did more fun things because I love saying his name. Leo Housakos says, a great victory for our leader, Pierre Poilievre, in Battle River Crowfoot. Canadians are excited to have a strong conservative voice back in Parliament. Looking forward to continuing our work in holding the government to account. Let's go over and see what Doug Ford's up to.
Oh.
Let's go have a look at his X account.
Contrast what Doug Ford says here with what you just heard. Go ahead.
Nothing. He says nothing. Well, and how could he? He did everything he could to sabotage the Poilievre campaign. And he says that as the opposition leader, he should quit opposing. So he's got nothing to say about a historic victory in Alberta last night. Dr. Elbows Up says, well, he's got nothing to say about it. All he has time for is to continue to attack Trump. With inflation rates falling and President Trump's tariffs taking direct aim at Canadian workers, we need the Bank of Canada to cut interest rates now so we can keep our economy growing and keep workers on the job. Go talk to your central banker best friend.
Right. I thought we had an expert in the House that we could just quickly talk to. I guess not. Scott Moe hasn't said anything. Moe hasn't said anything either. So, that's interesting.
Did he? Let's go. Did he not say anything?
No.
Did he at least not take time to bash Trump? Because I think that's the low bar here. Is if you haven't said anything about anything, okay, you haven't gotten around to it. But
yeah, Scott,
Doug Ford woke up
doesn't
today.
do that.
Oh,
he doesn't. Scott Moe doesn't do that.
Okay, let's keep going. Regina Red Sox. He's talking about the AAA team.
The AAA baseball team. Some ag stuff. Some housing starts. All good, but nothing about the momentous conservative win next door in Alberta. And that's just real interesting.
Like, quite literally next door. Like, it butts up against Saskatchewan this Friday.
Is that telling? Nice. Is that I think that's telling. I think that's telling that Scott Moe and the Sask Party have yet to comment on Pierre Poilievre's momentous win last night in Alberta. Anyway, we'll just keep an eye on that.
We'll keep an eye on it. He's got an hour to get his act
He's
together.
got 60 minutes. You're on notice.
Okay. This is from X. This is from Stacy Monette, 27. Pierre Poilievre easily wins Battle River Crowfoot by-election, but let's not forget to stop and congratulate one of the longest ballot independents, Kimberly Nugent. And you can see Kimberly Nugent here, posing with exactly what this longest ballot nonsense is all about. From Ontario on her victory of 2 whole votes. So everybody on the longest ballot committee got about 2 votes.
Right. Themselves.
Which means that 2 people in the ride, like, I think they've organized amongst themselves.
I think so too. It sounds
Yeah.
to me pretty contrived. So yeah, so to file your candidacy documents, you would have had to have received signatures from I don't know how many locals. Sheila Gunn-Reid, do you happen to know the number?
Pardon me?
Do you happen to know the number of how many like
Longest ballot?
guarantors they would have had to get on
I think
all of
it's
their
100.
paperwork?
100.
Okay, so they needed 100 signatures. And then they took those 100 people that they would
And
have
then
just
just
passed a
divvied
clipboard
them up.
around
Yeah.
to. Yep, and then divvied them up into who the local people were going to vote for. That's what happened.
It's gross.
Yeah. And it's so blatantly trying to sway things.
Yeah. And this, what is her name? Kimberly Nugent.
Mhm.
Her X account is absolutely unhinged.
Is
By
it?
the way,
I want to go look at it now.
if you
I'll
just
look at it after, but like tell me what's there.
if you go down from Olivia from the Stacy Monette post, you can see people putting screenshots of Kimberly Nugent's unhingedness.
It's coming back. She's
It's
being
quite
reminded.
something.
She's being reminded by the people what she said that one time.
She says, like somebody says, there's lefty. Yeah. The fact that Poilievre won Battle River Crowfoot doesn't change the fact that he is and will always be a loser. Kim, you got 2 votes. Like, I would love to see a Liberal riding that got 80% of the vote.
Right.
Right? Kim,
Right.
you got 2. You tried, you meddled in an election in Alberta, and you made a mockery of Battle River Crowfoot and all the people there who have to live there. What is wrong with you? Yeah. She keeps going. Kooky Kim can't remember what she said 15 minutes ago. She's on a real blocking tear.
Yeah.
I went to congratulate her and I blocked. Yeah, there's some there who's like, somebody tweeted lefty tears are flowing tonight. She's like, not likely. I'm a liberal. I'm enjoying watching him lose yet again. And that is if cosplay cowboy even survives the party leadership vote in January. She's just right off her, like,
rocker. Just right off her
completely.
rocker.
She cosplayed as a resident of Battle River Crowfoot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you? But this is the longest ballot committee. They're just a bunch of liberals targeting conservatives and making a mockery of our election. That's all.
Yeah. This is par for the course for leftist activism.
Yeah.
In politics. Like, this is par for the course. There is no bar that they won't still manage to sink under.
Yeah.
And so here she is meeting the consequences of her own actions, and good for her. Enjoy the next 3 days. The next 3 days of her digital life are going to be hell.
You know what? I hope people mock her the way she mocked the election process here in Alberta. You know, like, the whole point is that we're sick of Eastern colonizers, and then they come in to colonize our by-election process.
That's exactly what happened.
Why we dislike you? By the way, Jason Kenney, who doesn't know well enough to go away. Like, the fact that he is even out there tweeting, posting,
saying things,
saying things like, just go away into obscurity. You know what Danielle Smith did? She did like a sabbatical in the wilderness, as you pointed out. She said, I didn't think people wanted to hear from me. And it's
Right,
true, we weren't ready to hear from her.
right.
And so she just went away and thought about what she had done and then sort of rebuilt her reputation and reassessed her opinions.
Oh,
And
she went through a whole chrysalis. Like, think
oh,
butterfly creation.
the greatest redemptive arc in Canadian history.
Just gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah.
Emerged a beautiful, beautiful creature from
Yeah.
that terrible dark time
No.
of what happened before. It was
Jason
great.
Kenney is emerging as a moth who's coming to eat all the holes out of into your clothes. That he's not a beautiful butterfly. He's coming out of his pupal state as just a moth that gets attracted to light and just messes it up.
Yes, yes, a bothersome moth.
Here
Comes
he
out at
is.
night, attracted
Here
to
he is.
darkness, works in
Yeah.
darkness. And I do think that there are there's some machining happening in the background with all
No
of the
peace.
things that, that all of the things that Jason Kenney is saying have an explanation, but it's just it just hasn't been revealed yet. And I'll say the same thing for Doug Ford, and I'll say the
Oh,
same thing for Mark Carney, but there are some things afoot here that Jason Kenney tends to reveal to us
yeah.
on the internet, and we should pay attention to Jason more, I think.
I wish we didn't pay attention to him.
I know. Just for the time being, though.
I mean, I watch him the same way I listen to CBC radio sometimes, just to know what the other side is saying.
Oh, that's so funny.
To check my own bias. It's like, oh no, Sheila, you're right to have disdain for these people.
So
You are right.
I think a lot of us do that to just get our compass and our moorings. Listen to the mainstream media just to see how captured and ideologically driven it is, and then we shut it off and go, wow, have I come a long way? Because let's not forget, we were all consumers of that mainstream media up until a point, until they betrayed us. And then our eyes were opened. We started thinking on behalf of ourselves and we became better rounded people. But man,
Let's hear what Mothra has to say. So, Jason Kenney, first of all, he does the obligatory congratulatory tweet to Pierre Poilievre, of whom I think he's probably quite jealous of, because he would be that guy
Without
if he
question.
had been the guy we thought he was. That we
Without
were
question.
his, I think it would have went Premier of Alberta, leader of the Conservative Party, next Prime Minister of Canada, I think, and that's sort of what was presumed after Stephen Harper stepped down, right? Without that middle step of having to come to Alberta, but he saw the opportunity and took it, and he would have built a leadership record for himself if he had been any kind of leader, but that instead he chose to be the real Jason Kenney. So he said, this by-election result once again unmasks the Alberta separatist movement as a completely empty shell. The two separatist candidates, one from the ironically named United Party of Canada, got 1.5% of the vote between them in the riding that would be ground zero for separatist sentiment. Every riding now is ground zero for separatist sentiment if you ask these people, because before it was the by-election at the provincial level in Old Didsbury, but now the candidate whose campaign slogan was Canada First won over 80% of the vote. This follows the separatist humiliation in a provincial by-election 2 months ago in the only riding ever to select a separatist in Alberta back at the height of the National Energy Program.
So,
this is
go ahead.
This is a clear message that the effort and noise around a referendum on secession is a pointless distraction from the important work of building a stronger, more prosperous Alberta and fighting for needed reforms in Ottawa. Let's get on with that job. This is a gross misunderstanding of the separatist movement.
I was just going to say, thank you very much, Sheila. This is not an indictment of the separatist movement in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but I feel like the people of Alberta and Saskatchewan are very much viewing these two things as separate. We know that we need to work within the federal government until we decide what's next for us.
Right.
And so this is not at all saying what Jason Kenney thinks it's saying. What Jason Kenney is doing right here is revealing his extreme bias in trying to convince himself that the separatist movement in the West is just a big old nothing burger because Jason Kenney doesn't know the people of Alberta or Saskatchewan.
Right. I have not met a single person in Battle River Crowfoot, and I should tell you, it's the riding next door, so I poke around in there a fair bit. I have many, 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 many friends who live there. In fact, I'm just sort of in the Texarkana of a couple of ridings. Like I'm just on the edge of my own riding, but I could also, if I lived kind of across the street, I would be in Shannon Stubbs, and if I lived across the street kind of the other way, I would be in Battle River Crowfoot. So, he doesn't understand that the rejection of the separatist politicians is not a rejection of separatism. It's a rejection of a partisan party structure around the separatist movement. And every single person I spoke to who lived in Old Didsbury or in Battle River Crowfoot said, I'm not risking sending an NDPer to Edmonton or Bonnie Critchley to Ottawa to leave this country. I'm not risking that. We have another vehicle for that. Like if you look at the number of people who identify as UCP voters and supporters who support separation, it's a circle. The Venn diagram, as they say, is a circle. It's like 70 or 80%. And it would likely be the same because they're the same people who vote federal conservative. It's probably the same. They're saying, yeah, I support the federal conservatives. Of course I do. But if you give me the opportunity, I'm pulling the chute and I'm out of here. And so they're not mutually exclusive. And to think that they are mutually exclusive is a misunderstanding of the real fear Albertans have of sending an NDP government to Edmonton or a bit. Look, we'll never be responsible for the fact that there's a Liberal government in Ottawa, but we also don't want to be a part of it either, especially in rural Alberta.
Well, and that's exactly the point, Sheila Gunn Reid. Not only are they two completely separate issues, but the people of Alberta are smart enough to know that they don't need Pierre Poilievre's permission to want to leave Canada. They don't. It's not even a conversation that they would probably talk to him about. They view his role very differently as their representative in Ottawa, whereas they can still want better for themselves and want to leave the country and still support the Conservative Party of Canada on a federal level. Like those two things can happen concurrently. The people of Alberta know it, and Jason Kenney doesn't know what's coming or going.
Like you can say, I want the best person to represent Alberta's interests in Ottawa until such time as we're done with Ottawa.
Yep. That's exactly right. Nothing more to add.
Anyways, I wish you would just go away. Just go be quiet until you figure out why we got rid of you.
Yeah.
Like what the biggest political failure in recent Canadian history is not Poilievre, it's Jason Kenney coming back to Ottawa or from Ottawa to Alberta to be the liberator, to get rid of the NDP. And because he can't be a true conservative, he forgot what the difference between an Alberta conservative versus an Ottawa Carleton type conservative. He came home and he thought they were the same thing and he got run out on a rail. And now he's going to give advice to everybody. Zip it and go wander in the wilderness. Go wrestle with the devil in the wilderness for a bit. Then come back and talk to us.
You come back proper. Come back proper, Jason.
That's the thing. It's like it's actually fascinating. It's a real study in psychology and sociology that he still hasn't figured out anything. Like his reluctance for self-reflection is it's astounding to me. It should be studied by science.
I think it says a thing about the kind of people that Jason Kenney surrounds himself with. Because they're certainly not telling him the truth. Okay, they're certainly not walking him into some deep waters and asking him to doggy paddle out. Being pretty shallow with him. He's pretty unaware that his position is not one that's widely accepted in Alberta or the West.
It's his headstrongness in his wrongness. It's quite something to behold. It's
He should
really
change. He should change all of his bios to that.
headstrongness in my wrongness.
Yes, Jason Kenney. Yeah.
Let's hit an ad break and then we'll keep going with what's left on the day as much as we can get to before I run away, including the Saskatoon mayor
Oh,
forgetting
we
what
need
free speech is all about.
we need to talk about this.
Okay, ad break and we'll be right back.
Do you agree with me? It is time to make Canada great again. And that is why we at Rebel News have teamed up with MCGA hats to introduce, well, the fashion sensation of 2025. Oh, and by the way, these beautiful hats, they are made in Canada. We don't rely on cheap imports coming over from China. So what are you waiting for, folks? Show your pride. This is the perfect thing for a patriot to wear, or maybe there's a patriot in your life that you would like to gift such a hat. Please go to mcgahats.ca. That's mcgahats.ca. Don't be shy about it. Wear this cap. Let everybody know you want to make Canada great again.
All right. Before we get into a little bit more news, I want to tell you about our friends at the Wellness Company. Have you ever wondered why your brain feels foggy? I can tell you why mine feels foggy. I stayed up late with a whiteboard trying to figure out who did Anna Poilievre wrong. So I didn't get a lot of sleep. But even, and I, as people know, I'm one of those people who eats clean, mostly meat, and I exercise as faithfully as I can. But even then, sometimes I'm still tired and it might not be burnout. It could be, I'm sorry to say, parasites. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald revealed a direct link between chronic parasitic infections and neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline. Also give you the willies. Like, I don't even like even talking about it. More reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year. The Wellness Company has a solution for you: ivermectin and mebendazole, a gold standard parasite solution, now combined in one cleanse combo designed to eliminate harmful invaders. That's a fun way of putting it. And support your immune system naturally. It's medical grade, not some trendy herbal gimmick. Fill out a quick intake form and get a 3-month supply shipped straight to your door. Make America, but also Alberta, I should say, healthy again, is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making hard to get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head over to TWC, that's the Wellness Company, twc.health/rebel, and use code REBEL to save $60 off plus free shipping for our American friends. Cleanse your body today. Okay, let's get into the Saskatchewan mayor introduces in Saskatoon, introducing a motion. Cynthia Block introduces a motion following the Sean Foyt controversy. And I'm kind of astounded that there even is a controversy. Honestly, Sean Foyt probably should have went to hold this event in Regina at the legislature, and he probably would have had a different result. Maybe, I don't know, but at least tell us all about this.
Well, he definitely wouldn't have had this result. So Saskatoon voted for this woman to become mayor back in November of last year. So she's a relatively new mayor. But Mayor Cynthia Block of Saskatoon is reported as being in the center of the ire over Foyt's upcoming performance as protesters grabbed her microphone and shouted at her for several minutes outside of City Hall while she waited to talk over them. So the angry LGBTQIA Antifa types grabbed Cynthia Block's microphone and shouted at her. And so a week after this little stunt, Mayor Cynthia Block says, I mean, I knew that would be a tough afternoon, and I knew it would be. So then she goes on to say his comments were abhorrent, and she wishes that Saskatoon wasn't hosting him. So what Cynthia Block is saying is, it was really unfortunate that somebody grabbed my microphone and didn't allow me to speak, but I'm advocating that the exact same thing should happen to Sean Foyt when he comes to Saskatoon. And this story gets even more interesting in that in the lead up, so before she sort of forwarded this motion to reevaluate how the city of Saskatoon approves the permitting process, what she said was his comments were abhorrent, that welcoming, this type of person into the community could potentially make people unsafe, and that she pretty much was standing in support of the LGBTQ community of Saskatoon. But what she did in that moment, when she declared the event potentially unsafe, was she was creating a dog whistle for those activist classes that are going to claim that she gave them the blueprint. She gave them the blueprint to protest this event. And there is a protest, a say no to Sean Foyt rainbow picnic. It's a sit-in protest being planned for August 21st in the park when the concert is taking place. So we can all look forward to a clash between the LGBTQIA rainbow people, the vapid and insane activists that participate in these kinds of things, and the good people that show up to watch the free concert that Sean Foyt is going to put on in Saskatoon. Cynthia Block orchestrated this clash. Before it even happened. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens in Saskatoon on August 21st. We will be watching it very, very closely. And Mayor Cynthia Block, shame on you. Saskatoon, this is who you voted for. A woman who is pro-censorship, a woman who is anti-Christian, and a woman who would summon the demons of Antifa to come and fight you in public. This is your mayor. It's atrocious. It's egregious.
And I thought it was astounding that she said, well, if we can't ban him, we're going to have to change the rules so that we can.
This is what municipal politicians do all the time. They create policy, they create procedure, they create rules that ice everybody else out if they're not of the worldview of the municipal government. We've seen this. We've seen this over and over and over in Canada. And this is not the purview. This should not be the purview. Mayor Cynthia Block, you're supposed to pave roads. You're supposed to make people
pick up the garbage.
You're supposed to decrease people's taxes. And what have you decided to come on side? She is going to reap what she sows, and it will be so bloody well deserved. So
all she had to do in this instance was do nothing, actually. He would have just come, sing, and left. But instead, now she's created the controversy, as you said, because if she can't censor him, she wants to use the threats of Antifa to censor him. And at the end of the day, I'd love to see where Sean Foyt has made anybody unsafe. He has been the target of violence and not the perpetrator of violence. This is I loathe to use the word because sometimes I feel like it's overused, but this is some pretty high level gaslighting.
Well, and 56 people on Facebook said that they're already going to the Say No Rainbow picnic. So, and 390 others have expressed interest in attending the rainbow protest against Sean Foyt. So there's at least a couple hundred people who
Look
are
at this
actively
dangerous.
engaged in this.
Look at this. I can't even believe we're watching this. YouTube's gonna pull it down because look at the danger, you guys. Look at the
Just
danger.
look at Sean Foyt. This is what Mayor Cynthia Block in Saskatoon thinks is dangerous. But there's at least a couple hundred people who are actively involved in this story, and expect those same couple hundred people to flood the city of Saskatoon with demands of censorship, right? Because this is how they work. Like the left-wing activists, this is how they work. And so they're going to
Yeah.
take a very, very organized approach. So Cynthia Block is going to take all of the feedback that she gets from the rainbow people, right? And be like, well, we had to do something to protect our poor, vulnerable, marginalized LGBTQIA people from Sean Foyt coming in. Listen, he's not there for them. He's not
Yeah.
there for them.
Yeah.
This is not meant for you. You don't want to come? Don't come.
Don't come. It's
But to
really
plan
it's simple.
the end. And you know, these municipal governments are just getting right into the weeds. Well, because it's a non-ticketed event, we can't anticipate how, you know, what we will need to pull off a safe and inclusive event. And so we're just going to cancel the whole thing. Well, how about just don't come? Like that's the solution to all of these problems. You don't want to see Sean Foyt. You don't want to hear Christian messages. Don't come. But to plan a protest and to kick up this much dust was telling about what's happening in Canada right now. It's a perfect
Also,
example.
since when do tickets actually make a difference to these municipal governments before they manage crowd control? For example,
Canada,
these are the
go ahead.
Canada Days not ticketed. Yeah.
Never.
But also, I mean, the weekly Hamas hate marches are never ticketed, but somehow they manage to have police out to Sherpa them through the streets every single week, and they know how much police to deploy. So why can't they deal with this? It's almost like there's no political will to make sure that these things go off safely without the censorship mob, the heckler's veto.
We have a two-tier system in Canada.
Yeah.
There are the acceptable protesters, and then there are the rest of us. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Olivia reminds me that I have to get to something that is in the headline, but we skipped putting it on the list. I'm just trying to find it. I gotta go up past all the dumb things Doug Ford said. Okay, there it is. It's from iPolitics. The Liberal gun buyback program will be completed within a year, says terrorist linked Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari. They're going to go ahead with the firearm buyback program, which is a complete misnomer because you can't buy back something from me that you didn't sell me. And it's going to be rolled out next month and completed within the next year. And there will be absolutely zero compliance with this, I think. By and large, I think the only people who will comply are the firearms retailers who are stuck with a stranded asset, right? They can't sell it. They can't ship it back. What are you going to do? They're going to losing their shirts. So they might comply, but the rest of us, you can bet your ass that you will see mass civil disobedience. And what are the police going to do? A lot of these firearms were non-restricted, which means they don't even know who owns them. So the only way to deal with this is to get the list of people who have pals and are pals.
Go door to door.
Go door to door, knock on the
confiscate.
door and say, oh, do you have this 410 bird gun that looks really cool? But you probably shouldn't use it to even kill robins because it's really not that powerful. Can we snatch it from your 7-year-old daughter because it looks wicked? It's on this buyback list. Do you think the police have time in a violent crime epidemic in this country? Then you just throw like fentanyl and gangs in on top of that. I would rather they bust a super lab than bust down grandpa's door looking for his AR-15 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
But
think you're
even,
going to see provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan say, not our police, no thank you.
yeah, we have bigger fish to fry, will be the response from Alberta and Saskatchewan, who each have their own firearms officers. But I do think, just going back to the retailers that are going to hand back their stock, I think that's problematic.
Sure it
Why
is.
is the government punishing small business by making their stock illegal?
Yeah, right.
Like that in itself is an overreach as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
And then it sort of begs the larger question, which is, why is the government of Canada absolutely hell-bent
Right.
on disarming the people of Canada?
Right. And there's no data to support any of this, right? Like it is,
No.
as you know, it's never lawful firearms owners. It's
But
gangs. The guns are
you,
trafficked
oh,
largely through Six Nations Reserve, Akwesasne. This is where this stuff is coming across from the United States. The gangbangers in Toronto are not taking their RPAL course with
do
the
you think
kids out of town.
exactly? Do you think that precious 8-year-old that was shot in his bed in Toronto in this last week was shot by a legal firearms owner? Do you think that is within the realm of possibility? Of course not, because legal firearms owners are very responsible about the use of their firearms. All of Canada's problems as it relates to gun crime right now is gang related,
And open border related.
That's right. And I do believe that there are federal agencies in charge of making sure that doesn't have. See, look at this. He was sleeping in his bed.
Yeah.
He was sleeping in his bed. This isn't the result of firearms owners who have abdicated their responsibilities. This is the result of gang activity in Toronto that's absolutely off the hook. And we could be concentrating
Right.
on that level of crime, on all the way from base level gang crime on the street level to foreign interference.
Right.
But this is Canada, and we don't do
Right.
that.
Right. Think about how much money, instead of the buyback program, which again, they don't know who has these guns or even how many of them are in the country because they were not registered, because they were non-restricted. So you don't even really have an accurate assessment of the size and scope of this program. So when Gary Antisemitism says it'll be over and done with in a year, you don't know who has these. You have no clue. So how do you even know a time? How can you put a timeline on this? But again, how many CBSA officers could be hired to deal with the border?
Deployed, yes.
When you guys think the solution is to hassle somebody's grandpa in Two Hills, Alberta.
Yeah.
What a joke.
What a joke. I doubt that Gary Antisemitism understands just how many times this certain function of the government has failed, because how many other gun grabs have we had that were unsuccessful, that ran us into the billions of dollars? Was it billions of dollars, Sheila? Of
Billions
taxpayer
of dollars for the long gun registry that nobody complied with because it came up with the same problem. How do you get people to register guns when you don't know who has them or how many of them there are? So
Right.
how do you check for compliance? And guess what? Crime didn't go down. All it did was cost money and keep the entire town of Miramichi employed. That's what it was for.
That's right. Yeah, so good luck with that, Gary.
Best
Good
of
luck
luck
with that,
to you.
Minister Gary.
Look at
Yeah,
his
best of luck.
face.
There is something.
That
there
is
was
Mr.
something real.
Potato Head. He has a Mr. Potato Head face.
Just bulbous, kind of
It's
bulbous
it's
and
the
round.
jaw. Yeah.
Wow, Gary.
Those are Mr. Potato Head lips too, for sure.
You're-
And them ears are potato head ears. And I'm just saying this not to be unkind, but Gary Antisemitism is definitely unkind to somebody like me as a firearms owner. But I just, in just a completely observatory way, the man does look like Mr. Potato Head.
Well, listen, just when I look at that picture, it looks like he has a winter's worth of food stuffed in his cheeks. You know what I mean?
This is a very busy time of year for Gary Antisemitism.
So foraging for winter food. That his face is full of little chestnuts and things that he finds in the ground. Anyway,
Sorry.
sorry.
I know it's petty, but I got a lot to say about a terrorist-linked public safety minister who had to
He can
recuse himself from Tamil Tiger files,
handle it.
coming after law-abiding firearms owners while making excuses for
I feel
the
absolutely
Tamil Tigers.
justified. I feel absolutely justified in commenting on the appearance of our politicians, because Lord knows people comment on our appearance.
Oh God,
So
just the comment
wel-
section is quite something. No, I'm not straightening my hair. Don't.
welcome to the jungle,
Yeah,
Gary.
exactly. You
Welcome
could
to
have
the
tough
jungle. This is what you
skin.
get. Yeah.
Tough skin. You guys hate my tattoos and you hate my hair, and I don't actually care, but either. Let's quickly touch on. I don't know what we're going to talk about, because we have to talk about something from the Islamophobia,
Oh,
anti-Semitism file. By the way, I got a story coming out about that. But let's go to this one. CTV, Montreal man charged after death threat against Jewish man in Montreal. I wanted to bring this up because of how quickly this guy got bail. A man arrested for allegedly threatening a Jewish man and several other people in Montreal's St. Laurent borough last week has been released from custody with conditions. God, thank God he didn't honk his horn for freedom or something, right?
he'll be in jail right now.
Montreal police were called to a residential street last Friday after getting 911 calls about a man making threats and hateful remarks toward a group of people. What group of people?
Were they coming out of a synagogue, perchance?
On a Friday night, or headed to a synagogue on a Friday night?
Were they outside of a synagogue, perchance?
A short clip posted on social media shows part of the altercation. In the video, a man can be heard saying, "We will kill you, you effing pig," when speaking to people. Which people?
Which people?
Including at least one of them being a member of the Jewish community before walking away. Court records show Seed Alid Tamrabet, 28 of Montreal, has been charged on Saturday with 3 criminal offenses. He has no prior criminal record in Quebec. He's going to have to meet with a court-appointed criminologist to mandate his mental health, or to assess his mental health condition.
Oh,
Back
here
in
it comes,
court.
Sheila. They're going to say something like climate change.
I was because the weather wasn't hot. What was the temperature?
Yeah, climate change was responsible for his foul mood and terrible words, and he's very sorry. Don't let it. I honestly hope that the first thing that they did was search his phone, because those kinds of fully radicalized opinions don't happen in a vacuum. Okay, this guy is surrounding himself with all sorts of people who think and say the same things as he thinks and says. So, maybe, CSIS, who tweeted about Pride yesterday, maybe, here's a challenge.
We do something about this. Like,
maybe CSIS could look into this guy and his network of colleagues. Maybe they could do that.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because they always say these guys are lone wolves, but I refuse to believe that. I feel like that is a lazy way of looking at these things. Yeah, CSIS is
like just tripled down. I feel this is so embarrassing. I
feel safer from the Chinese already.
Yeah, look at this. So we know that we have foreign interference, and we know that we have malfeasance on the greatest scale ever witnessed. But here is a person in a ribbon skirt celebrating Pride.
Right.
That's what's important. This is what our National Intelligence Agency is concentrating on. Like, I do believe that we have our priorities out of whack, CSIS. Yeah. I do believe that we are we need to realign. I do believe that CSIS needs a big realignment. Yeah, because this is not important. This is not important. This is actually maddening.
Don't care. Can you do something about the Chinese?
Could you do something about the people that are threatening Jews walking in or out of synagogue? Could you do something about that? Yeah, the hate marches, maybe that.
And I find it's strange, and maybe I'll see if Alexis can find out. What's the immigration status of this gentleman?
Great question.
Are you not a citizen? Well, then you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out. Out you go. because what happens if this guy isn't a citizen but is going through the process of becoming a citizen? He's going to get in front of a judge, and the judge is going to say, "Oh, well, we can't have this. Your rampant anti-Semitism jeopardize your immigration status to this country, so you're going to get a conditional discharge, and off you go. Promise me you'll never do it again." And he will do it again. Why? Because he did it a bunch of times, all in 1 week, by the way. It shows that he is accused of harassing a woman and her family between August 10th and August 15th. And he's also facing 2 counts of uttering death threats after he threatened a man between August 10th and August 15th, and threatened 2 other men on August 9th.
This is a man on a mission, it sounds like to me.
He's going to get one of us real fast. Like I don't know. Anyways.
Upside down world. Upside down world. Well, it'll be interesting to see what comes out about him.
Yes.
We'll keep an eye on it.
I don't have a daily cringe today, and I'm very sad about it. Sorry, what is this? I think it'll be kicked out after 15 minutes. I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's read some of the chats, and maybe someone behind the scenes can surprise me with the daily cringe, and we can go in cold together, all of us. This is chat. We've got Sasquatch Chronicles, $9.99. Well, thank you very much. My favorite ladies. Thank you. For the record, I could take Sheila's husband. Fight him or take him somewhere. He doesn't like to leave the property when he gets home from work. Please make sure Sheila's husband doesn't see this comment. I don't want any harm to come to me or my family. I'd like to know more about Sasquatch Chronicles. Like, what are you chronicling?
Right.
Because I am an amateur cryptid researcher. In fact, I'll show you this meme that I posted to my Facebook the other day. I put it in the Slack chat, Olivia. My kidnapper is returning me after listening to me talk about Sasquatch for 2 hours. That is quite literally on my Facebook right now. And it is true.
If you guys want to know what we do when we tootle around the prairies, we're Sasquatch hunting. We're spotting.
I'm
okay?
squatching.
Squatching.
It's true. You know, when we went on the documentary tour for the medical assistance in dying documentary, I believe it was, we were in Harrison Hot Springs, and Sasquatch Chronicles, you obviously know this, that's a Sasquatch hotspot. They have the Sasquatch little statues everywhere. It had strong midsummer vibes. I was like, are they going to sacrifice the 3 not locals to the Sasquatch so that they are left alone by the Sasquatch for the coming year?
Right.
It's like, Key and Lyndon, are we, that's us. Because I was like, I haven't even seen a cop here. It's just a completely harmonious town. The cop was a cutout, a cardboard cutout. Like, that's how dangerous the town was. I'm like, this doesn't come by accident. They're sacrificing non-locals to the Sasquatch gods, obviously, and it was going to be us. So I was very careful when I was out squatching. But I did go squatching, and I did tell the guys, if I go missing, track my watch. That's where you'll find where I was last. You'll find my body there.
The Sasquatch would not know enough to take off the smartwatch, okay?
Right.
And that will lead right to it. So now
it's going to solve my murder. I don't like Samsung knowing everything about the inner functions of my body, but I feel like if I get murdered, it'll help solve it.
Shush! I had a friend who had his heart attack confirmed by his smartwatch before a cardiologist could ever walk in the room. Okay. Yeah. He just downloaded his heart activity, and the people at the hospital looked at it and went, there is a heart attack. So miracles do happen because of those watches. They really do. Yeah.
They solve murders all the time. And infidelity, by the way. Cicely Bardwell gives us $5. Has anyone made a concession speech? I would love. I would pay whatever pay-per-view they were asking to see Bonnie Critchley give a concession speech.
We got to reach out to the team and ask for one, because that would be our cringe for the day for tomorrow.
I would love that so much. Can somebody go to her? Does she have X? I regret to say that I didn't check if she had X, because I didn't either. I probably would garner a lot of entertainment from her ex. But just lurking, but I didn't look. I would
I
love
didn't
to
either.
see a concession speech. A Bonnie demolition. Proving our point here. Jason Kenney doesn't have a clue. We like Pierre here in Battle River Crowfoot. He will do us
Nice.
proud in Ottawa for now. Next time this year, we will be voting to separate. I think
Do
that's how a
you,
lot of people feel.
girl? Same,
Yep.
same. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. Without question, though, Pierre Poilievre is going to play a role in whatever happens next.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's go. Ableist SL gives us $5. While Canadian petitions are hard to post, one way UK residents can push back against Labour is to post petitions related to fringe issues that will, I guess, get people angry at the government if rejected.
Have to look
AMT6,
into that.
yeah. In Canada, for a parliamentary petition, you have to get somebody to sponsor it for you.
Right.
And if you're crazy, the left will just sponsor them all. It's
Right.
completely, it's madness. AMT 60 gives us $5. I'm going to check out a small town, 250 population in October. That's 4 hours north of Saskatoon, because houses are 30,000 to 65,000. I could sell my house in Ontario next year and move. Is Saskatchewan planning on separating too?
Buddy, how exciting. We are so exciting to host you. Like, honest to God, have the best time
If
in
we leave,
Saskatchewan.
they leave. So that's, I think you can't stay behind
Agreed.
without us. That's just how it's going to have to be, because you
Agreed.
can't lift this country alone.
Saskatchewan and Alberta were twin sisters separated at birth,
Yep.
and we will be reunited. But again, I can't wait for you to be in Saskatchewan. That is so exciting. I want to know more about the little town. We can give you a toodle around the area. It would
We
like
could go check
we're
it
just
out.
gonna we should do roving caravans of people with our followers from Ontario who want to taste test the prairies as a potential place to move. I love this for you though. Like, welcome to Saskatchewan. We're just delighted that you're coming.
We could go do some recon, like separatist real estate relocation recon.
Bro, send us the name of that little town and we'll go and
We'll
send you a
toodle.
video. Like, we'll review the town for you.
Yeah.
Do it.
We go
Do
to
it. Like, we're
we
not
go
collabing. Yeah.
we go to Nowheresville little towns just for fun, to check out the local graveyard, because how people treat your dead, I judge your town by.
We will go meet some people. We will do full recon for you. Like, we're now in the real estate business where we relocate poor, suffering Eastern conservatives to Saskatchewan and Alberta. Like, welcome.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we ended up with so many rebels in Calgary.
That's how. That's how.
What happened. We've got one from Northern Lights, $2. It says, loved your show last night. So much fun. Go Pierre. Well, thanks. You
Yes.
never know how many people are going to
Agreed.
tune in to like a local by-election.
Don't, our numbers are insane
I
from
know.
last night, Sheila Gunn-Reid. They are, and
the
to
clips. The clips
be-
too. They were cutting clips on the go. I was like, wow, you guys. Awesome.
like, we had the best lineup of guests. We
Yep.
had Clyde Do Something. We had Josh Udall. We had Chris Sims. We had Keith Wilson. It was, and guess who texted in? My child texted in, gave Rebel News $10 just to tell the world that he loved what his mom was doing on Rebel News. It absolutely made my life.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Sheila Gunn-Reid, that I am not opposed to my own children sending me money to get me to pay attention to their needs right at the time. Like, I'm going to standardize this across the house and tell all of my kids, if you really need me, okay, and if you really need
I'll
to
be on TV, send me money.
bring $1. That's right. I love this for me. I love it's like reverse allowance.
Right.
It's money allowance is what it is.
The old switcheroo.
It's I recommend it to everybody. But anyway, last night was my favorite live stream of all time. We just had the best time. And thanks so much for joining us, you guys. Like, tens of thousands of you guys tuned in to watch us talk about it. So it's great.
And you can go back and rewatch it. Ezra has an existential crisis about halfway through. Keith Wilson hits him with the reality hammer of like, what does this all matter anyway? Because Canada's broken. And then Ezra went from being happy to a little deflated balloon. It was like, and then he was like, you know what? I'm tired. I gotta go.
It was just his long day caught up to him just at that moment.
And
And
it's so
like
funny because Chris Sims tried to save him from it. And it basically, she's like, there's a solution. You just move to Alberta and everything's fine. And he just was, he realized he lives in Toronto. Canada is broken and nothing's going to change. And he was just like, I got to go home to
and
bed.
it was a wah wah, like sad trombone for Ezra. He started off so strong too. He
Oh,
said,
it's so
I mean,
funny.
just the best. Like we just had the best evening, and it wouldn't have been as fun without you guys. And we just thank you
Yep.
so much for joining us.
Yep.
And poor Ezra. I hope he got a good night's rest.
Yeah. The whole
Hope he
team,
feels
they worked
better.
late.
Oh, did
I mean,
they?
they're working on Western time, but going to sleep on Eastern time. Just everybody worked so hard.
Yeah.
We've got somebody selected a possible daily cringe. Let's just go in. Let's see what it is. It's
go.
from Ryan Garrettson.
Oh, he's great.
And
great.
he says, wow, CBC doing their part to make it look like Carney is still important on the world stage this morning. They're actually showing a screenshot of Carney as proof that he's in some important virtual meeting with some of the leaders who were at the White House yesterday without him. There was a potted plant there instead of him. Who gave them that screenshot, by the way? Good point. Clearly the PMO, this is our state-run media, blatantly protecting his reputation. Let's watch this.
Canada is taking part as we speak this morning in talks aimed at building on developments from that extraordinary White House summit aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine. We have some new images of Prime Minister Mark Carney from that conversation this morning, frame grabs from the virtual meeting that was co-chaired by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron. You can make out the Prime Minister there in the lower part of the screen. The focus for the meeting this morning, security guarantees for Ukraine. And we will be watching for an official statement from the Prime Minister's office as to anything that has come from that meeting later today. Canada is taking...
This is so embarrassing.
Pathetic.
They zoomed Prime Minister Mark Carney after the event.
Yeah.
Just insane. And actually, Trump, I saw something this morning where Trump alluded to somebody in that group, somebody in the NATO group, suggesting to Trump that they reevaluate the situation in a month or two or something. You know, let's regroup on this in a month or two. And President Trump came out of his mind and said 40,000 more people will die between this time and then. No, we're talking about this right now. So to say that Mark Carney missed all the boats, okay, wasn't included in anything. Oh, I mean, this is just unfathomably embarrassing for the federal government of Canada.
I kind of love it though.
Oh, so do I. I'm eating it up.
He's Mr. like deal maker, global banker, and they're like, I guess we should Zoom Mark after the meeting.
Just get him in on the loop. You listen, we need to get Mark Carney in the loop on this. So quickly, let's have a Zoom with him from Doug Ford's house in Muskoka, and we'll get this all cleared up.
Put the flag up behind, so it looks like he's in the PMO.
Oh, that's a great cringe. Thanks, team.
Yeah, you guys did great. Thank you. I'm sorry that I was so busy before, so I couldn't select a daily cringe. All right. I think that's the show for today. I gotta get out of here. And I think I'll be doing the show from the road tomorrow because it's the Western Wednesday panel, the Buffalo panel, and I don't want to miss that. And like, who am I going to sub in for me? David? No. Oh, well, did you hear that?
That we just got the best news over the, you guys.
We'll just keep a hat on. It might not be me, but it'll be somebody, let's say, equally as good and equally as exciting and a Westerner at heart.
Tomorrow's show is going to be lit. That's what we're telling you right now.
Banger.
You guys can be here tomorrow, same place, same time.
Okay. Livia, Efron, everybody who works behind the scenes at Rebel News, including everybody who made the show possible last night. Thank you for working so hard yesterday and again today. And Lise Merle for putting in 3 hours uninterrupted. By the way, they didn't give us an ad break. They didn't give us a bathroom break. They didn't give us a smoke break, nothing yesterday. And
It was the easiest 3 hours of the day. It was just such
Yeah.
a pleasure, and thanks.
Yep.
Well, thanks for having me, Sheila Garnaid.
Yes.
I just love it.
And thanks to all of you who watched the show last night, pitched in last night and today to help us keep the lights on here at Rebel News. We could absolutely do none of this without you. And we're just so grateful that you choose us, because we realize you do have a lot of choices out there, but we love that we are your favorites, particularly myself and Lise. Okay, that's the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will, my tagline. If you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all. Bye, guys.
I'll never stop, poking Donald Trump, but we're going to focus on what we can do, so that no matter who the next president is or whatever the next crisis, we're able to protect our workers, the services the public relies on, and our communities, not just from President Trump, but from anything that comes our way for decades to come. We need to build a stronger and more resilient and self-reliant economy. We need to make Ontario the most competitive place in the G7 to invest, create jobs, and do business. And we need to do it together, working collaboratively together, working with all levels of government and Indigenous communities. Over the last few months, that's what our government has been doing.